Welcome, my friends. What if I told you the man who created Hyundai, one of the biggest car companies in the world, once worked on muddy fields with no shoes, never went to college, and was so poor he couldn't afford a train ticket. So he ran 120 kilometers on foot just to chase a dream? This is not a motivational speech. This is not fiction. This is real. Today, you will hear the story of a boy who had nothing and built everything. A boy who had no money, no education, no power, but had one thing that changed his life: a decision to never stop trying. But why should you listen to this story? Because this is not just about business. This story will teach you how to fight when life hits you hard, how to believe when nobody believes in you, how to stand alone when the world shuts the door. And yes, this story will also improve your English. How? Because you are not just watching English. You are feeling it. You are living inside a story. That's the secret to fluency. Not grammar books, not boring vocabulary lists, but real stories with real emotion, told in easy, clear, and powerful English. So listen closely, because this video might not just teach you English, it might change your life. Now let's begin the story of the man who started it all. Part 1. The boy who had nothing. Let's go back. The year is 1915. We're in a small, poor village in North Korea. Yes, before Korea was divided. A boy named Chung Ju-young is born into a family of farmers. They grow rice. They live in a straw roof house. They eat simple food. Sometimes, not enough. He is the eldest son in the family. That means he must help at the field every day. No shoes, no toys, no time to dream. From age 7, he carries water, cuts grass for cows, and helps plant rice. His father is strict and believes in one rule: work hard, don't dream. A farmer's son must become a farmer. But little Chung was different. Even as a child, he wanted more. He would stare at the mountains and think, is this all there is to life? When he was around 14 years old, he had a dream. He wanted to study, go to school, learn math, become a teacher. So one day he secretly left home and walked miles to enroll in a school. But his father found out, and in anger, he dragged him back to the farm. "Stop dreaming," his father said. "Dreams don't feed hungry mouths." This was the first time life told him, stay small. But something inside Chung refused. A few years later, he tried again. He left home with only a little money and a big dream. This time, he wanted to go to the city, Seoul. But he didn't have enough for a train ticket. So what did he do? He ran. Yes, 120 kilometers on foot. No phone, no food, just the belief that there's more beyond those rice fields. When he reached Seoul, he found a job at a construction site. He worked with bricks and cement from sunrise to sunset. His hands bled, his back hurt. But every night, he told himself, one day I will not just build houses, I will build something much, much bigger. After months of hard work, he saved enough money to start something small. With a partner, he opened a tiny rice shop. It was his first taste of business. But one day, his partner stole all the money and disappeared. He lost everything. Many people would have gone back to the village, but not Chung. He wiped his tears and said, money can be taken, but not my fire, not my vision. He started over, from zero, again. Over the next few years, he worked any job he could find, carrying bricks, delivering salt, fixing bicycles, cleaning shoes. He watched, he listened, he learned, not from books, but from life. Slowly, He understood how business works, how people think, how to earn respect, not just money. Finally, in the 1940s, Chung opened a small construction business. He built roads and repaired bridges. Even the government started noticing his work. And then, World War II ended. Korea was in pieces, broken, divided. But Chung saw opportunity. Where others saw ruins, he saw future roads. Part 2. Building from Ashes. The birth of Hyundai. We ended Part 1 with Chung Ju-young opening a small construction business. But let's not move too fast, because the world he was stepping into, Korea in the 1940s, was not a world full of hope. It was a country that had just been freed from Japanese control after decades of occupation. But freedom didn't feel like freedom. The country was broken, poor, ruined. No proper roads, no clean water, no big companies, no system. Korea was like a body with a heartbeat but no bones. But where others saw nothing, Chung Ju-young saw possibility. He believed, if the country is broken, then we must rebuild it. We, the people, must become the builders. Step 1. In 1946, when he was around 31 years old, he officially started his company. He named it Hyundai, which means modern in Korean. Think about that. A man who grew up in the rice fields barefoot without education started a company called Modern. He didn't just want to build roads. He wanted to build the future. At first, Hyundai was just a small construction firm. They built roads, bridges, repair buildings, mostly small jobs. But his mindset was always different. Most people would say, "We're too small to take big projects." But Chung said, "We are small because we never take big projects." He started bidding for bigger jobs. He took risks. He hired people smarter than him. And he watched everything, like a hawk. He didn't sit in an office. He visited construction sites himself. He talked to workers. He checked every stone, every brick. He believed, if you build something, it must be strong enough to carry the future. The Korean War. In 1950, the Korean War began, North versus South, brother against brother. Cities burned, thousands died. For many businesses, it was the end. But for Chung Ju-young, it was the beginning of something massive. He didn't run. He didn't shut down Hyundai. He looked at the destruction and thought, the country will need roads again. The country will need buildings again, and I will be the one to build them. He started working with the South Korean government, helping to rebuild key infrastructure. His workers were not just laborers. They were rebuilding their own homeland. This made Hyundai stronger, not just as a company, but as a name. People began to trust the name Hyundai. Because when everyone was afraid, Hyundai kept moving. One of the most famous and powerful moments in Chung's life came in the 1960s, when the South Korean government gave him a challenge. We need a bridge built over the Han River. Can you do it? Now here's the truth. Hyundai had never built a bridge before. Other companies laughed. They said, he doesn't even have an engineering degree. He's not a bridge builder. He's just a construction guy. But Chung said, if we keep saying we can't, we'll never learn how to do it. So he took the project. He gathered a team, hired engineers, studied every blueprint, visited bridges around the world, and then he started building. Every day he stood by the river, watching, planning, correcting. And after only 4 months, the Han River Bridge was completed. The same people who laughed at him now stood in silence. Because a rice farmer's son had just built one of Korea's most important bridges. This wasn't just a bridge. This was a symbol. a message to the world.